Hey everybody, welcome. Today we're going to do another strength workout, followed by a nice stretch, so please grab your dumbbells and a mat. Let's get started.
Just remember you can do this workout seated or standing. It's always up to you, your choice. Grab your dumbbells. All right, so starting in the center, I'm going to put both of those dumbbells together, well, depending on your weight of the dumbbells. Have a little bit of a wide base, about hip width and wider. We're going to allow the dumbbells to come down towards the center as we are hinged at the hip. Okay, hinged at the hip over, pulling up towards the middle of the chest and back down. So right where your sternum is and back down. So driving the elbows back and not out. All right, we're going to bring the elbows back. So from the side, once again, getting that kind of flat back there, bring them towards the bottom of the sternum and back up again. Come down, under control with gravity, and then using those elbows to drive back. Good. Now moving onto the ground, still with your dumbbells. Keeping your feet flat on the ground, knees bent. We're going to do a little chest press. So elbows are going to be on the ground. Our weights are stacked right over those elbows. And we're going to press up and together and then back down. Up, together, back down. Working on those pec muscles, those tricep muscles. And if you find that these are getting too easy for you with this amount of weight, then you may need to increase your weight. Get a bigger bottle, buy actual dumbbells. 3, 2, and 1. Good. I'm gonna let those come down to this. All right, so now we're gonna add to that by allowing a bridge. So we're going to bridge up when we press up. So we're going to stack the weights in our hands, wrists over elbows. We're going to bridge up and push up. Bridge down, let down, and working together. This is just an option if this is too much to do all at one time. Don't worry about it. You can pick one. Make sure that you're breathing, inhaling as you're lifting up, exhaling as you're allowing your body to come down, taking your time and doing every movement under control. And 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Coming back up. So with our weights, either standing or seated. If we're standing, we're going to have the weights palms facing down against the thighs, and we're going to hinge at the hip like we learned before, allowing them to come down with a relatively straight leg. There's going to be a slight bend in the knee, but we're not squatting. We're actually just doing a little deadlift. So from the side, little micro bend, allow the hips to come back and the hips to come forward. So the hips are going to come back and then forward, keeping a nice flat back the best we can. Well, we all have 3 curves in the back at least. Remember to breathe, inhaling up, exhaling down, taking our time. Good. Now we're going to go into a shrug for the traps, the shoulder up here. So we're going to inhale up, exhale down. Easy, right? So now we're going to add them together with a shrug up and a fold down, deadlifting up, shrug up, down, all the way down. Here we go. Remembering we're not rounding the back. Keeping that nice flat back. Not easy to do. But it helps if you think about keeping the shoulders back so that we're not rounding the shoulders in towards one another. Good, let's do one more. And good, all right. Moving into overhead press. Overhead press, balancing your weight about hip width apart. We're gonna bring the weights up to our shoulders. We're gonna bring our arms out to the sides. Press up overhead, and then come back down to about the shoulder, come up, down to the shoulder. Keeping that slight micro bend in the knee, so you don't want to be resting on your low back. You want the core to be active at the same time. Good, and then we're gonna move into our bicep curl. So give me 2 more of these. Good, and then allow them to come down. So now we're moving into that bicep curl. So our bicep curls, we learned before, elbow is going to stay tucked in towards the hips, towards the ribs, and then we're going to bring our weights up to the shoulder and then back down, up to the shoulder and back down. Bicep curl. So keep going on your bicep curl. Again, if these are just getting too light for you, you might need to increase the weight on these dumbbells now. Three, 2, and 1. Great job. Now, if you need a chair for this next one, you can grab it and put it right by you. We're going to work on some squats. So, once again, remember that for our squat, we're sitting the hips backwards. Hips are going to go back. Just go back and we come down, right? So if you're ready, you can do it with or without, totally your option. Holding the weights by the sides if you want to do what's called a suitcase squat, like you're picking up a suitcase from the ground and from the side. Hips go down. Right? Hips go down. This one is not a bend over, right? That's how we end up hurting our back. So you want the legs to do the work here. The arms are just holding on. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, great job. Moving into tricep kickbacks. So just like we did for the bicep curl, keeping those elbows tucked in, right towards the hip, towards the side, we're gonna hinge at the hips, and we're gonna lean forward ever so slightly, keeping that nice neutral spine, allowing those dumbbells to come up towards the shoulders, and then straighten back out. So without letting the upper arm move, just bending at the elbow, extending. Looking on the backs of the arms, keeping that posture right the way it needs to be. Good. 3, 2, and 1. All right, go ahead and find your mat. Okay, so once again, keeping the feet flat on the ground. We're gonna come down. And you can use the dumbbells or just do it without the dumbbells. Still gonna be a great workout. Up to you. We're gonna straighten the arms and then we're going to push up as if we're lifting those dumbbells straight up to the ceiling. So without pressing the arms this time, we're using the abs, the rectus abdominis, to press up. We're avoiding using momentum, which would be to kind of throw the weight up. So it's not a very big movement. Just lifting straight up to the ceiling by contracting our abdominal muscles. Okay, remember to keep a space right underneath your chin so that you're not flexing the neck up and down. It's a very simple movement. Trying to keep those weights straight up. Straight up. Or if you're weights are too much, you can just reach the arms straight up. And just as if you're trying to reach the ceiling. Reach the ceiling. 3, 2, and 1. Whew, great job. All right, let's move into some rows. Taking your weights again, hinging at the hip once again. Here, just right at the waist, slight bend in the knees. Allow the weights to come down in front. You're gonna pull back towards you, pulling those elbows back. So from the side, it's again, here, pull the elbows back and let the weights come down. All right, you got this. Be sure to be breathing, stabilizing your core. Keeping that slight bend in the knee. 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, find your way back down to the mat. Doing a few sets. You're doing great. Feet flat on the ground, going into that chest press and bridge. Once again, weights over elbows. Press up and come back down. Now, if you really want the workout, don't let the hips come all the way to the ground. Just have them come right before they touch or barely touch. Just don't let them rest. And we push them back up. So you can push straight up in the air with your dumbbells or have them come together, which I recommend to hit more of the inside of your pecs. Pressing up. You guys are doing fabulously. 3, 2, 1. All right, moving up, standing up again. Don't worry if it takes you a minute to stand up, that's okay too. And remember, anytime you need a water break, you can take it. So weights at the thighs, hinge at the hips back, come up, shrug the shoulders up and back down. Hold again, keep breathing. And once again from the side. Just keep working. Even if it feels kind of tough, that means you're doing it right. If you feel faint, that's when you need a break. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Good. Going into that overhead press. Allow the weights to come over the elbows. Press up and come back down. Up and come back down. Once again, this can be done seated. Slight bend in those knees. If you want to make it harder, you could squat and just hold that squat. Or you could stand up with it. Or if you just want to keep it at this pace, keep going. 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Whew. Moving into that bicep curl, as we remember, up to the shoulders, back down. Making sure that we're not letting the weight just kind of like rock us around, right? We want the rest of the body to remain stable. We're moving the weight isn't moving up. Under control, beautiful. I can see right through the screen, you're doing great. Keep it up. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right. Moving on to our squats. So if you're squatting into a chair, you might want to hold the weight at the center and squat down. But if you're doing a suitcase squat, you can leave them in your hands by the sides, pick it up off the ground, stand up. Just be careful of those knees. Try to keep them stacked over your feet, not going beyond those toes. Let the hips come back. Lift up those suitcases and you're ready to go on your trip. Try to keep the chest up, head up. You don't want to be bending forward into the ground. 3, 2, and 1. Whew, great job. All right, moving into those kickbacks. So we start here, pull it back, and extend. Bring it up and extend. Extend. Elbows squeezed in. They're not really moving anywhere else. Just extending the forearm and flexing forearm. Take your time. Once again, make sure that you are controlling the weight. The weight isn't controlling you. We're not letting gravity take over. 3, 2, and 1. Whew, all right, come on down to the mat. All right, once again, pressing up our abdominal crunch. Holding our weights or holding no weight, your choice. Coming up, straight up to the ceiling, without moving the weights around, not cheating with momentum. And trying not to use the head for momentum either. And that becomes kind of difficult. The more tired we get, the more different muscles we try to recruit. And that's when we get injured, so do be careful. Listen to your body. It's okay to remove one of those weights if you need to. Just use one or none. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Great job.
And we move into our floor exercises without weights here by sitting comfortably first. You can also sit on a pillow or elongate the legs if that feels better. Stretch the fingertips down to the ground as we sit up as tall as we can, straight through the top of the head. Reach through the fingertips. Elongate those arms. Imagine all the energy of your body pushing up through your spine, through the top of your head. Try to breathe deeply in and out. In and out as we turn, reaching the right hand behind, left hand towards the right knee in a little twist. So just looking over the right shoulder, keeping the spine as long as we can, and breathing into that twist. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Then on your next exhale, we're going to come back to the center. Inhale deeply, then exhale deeply. Inhale. Then as we exhale, we're going to twist around to the other side, reaching the left arm back, the right hand over the left knee. Just letting the spine kind of spin in place as we look over that left shoulder into our spinal twist. Don't worry about how far you go, just try to keep the spine as straight as you can. Inhale, then exhale, return to the center. Good, if your legs are crossed, switch the leg that is in front. And just kind of reshift your weight. Inhale the hands up overhead, and then interlace the fingers, flipping the palms towards the ceiling. You can arch the back just a little bit, still protecting the neck, just letting the upper back arch as we reach the arms back as far as they go, keeping our arms as straight as we can. And then we're going to bring the hands down in front of our body, pressing the palms away from our chest, dropping the top of the head towards the hands, letting the back arch as we bring the sternum towards our spine. Just breathe. inhale, then exhale, releasing the hands back down to the ground. Good. I'm going to turn so that you can see me from the side. Slowly roll all the way down on the back, adjusting the spine. Inhale, bring the knees to chest, and just kind of hug the knees in and slowly rock the body from one side to the other if that feels good for you today. And if you find that your hands don't quite reach in front of your shins, it's okay to grab behind the thighs, behind the knees. And you don't have to rock side to side either. Good. Inhale. Exhale, let the feet come down to the ground. And then we're going to inhale as we press the hips up off the ground. So the feet are going to stay flat and the hips are going to come up as we move into bridge pose. So try to keep those hips between the shoulders and the knees in as straight of a line as possible, and keeping a space underneath your chin so it's not touching your chest. If this is uncomfortable for the neck, you may need to lower down a little bit. Inhale and exhale, lower the hips down. Inhale, the knees in towards the chest and bringing the chin up towards the chest as well, maybe turning the head side to side if that feels good today. Good. Inhale. Exhale, release the feet down. Inhale the hips up to bridge. Pressing down through the bottoms of the feet, feeling the earth. Maybe pressing up onto the toes for a little challenge. Maybe pressing through the backs of the arms. And some of you who have done yoga before may even press the base of the hand into the back of the pelvis for a deeper lift. That's not for everybody, so do not worry. You can just keep it in the standard bridge or just press the backs of the arms into the ground to help lift the body a little more. Good. And as you're ready, lower down. Inhale the hips up to bridge. Exhale the hips down. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, the feet down. Inhale to bridge. Exhale, the hips down. Inhale, knees to chest. Good. And either turning on your side and coming up or rolling back and forth up into bringing our shins parallel to the ground. And this is boat pose, using our core strength. So we're going to try not to let the chest come down. We want to lift the shoulders so the shoulders are wide and that the spine is going through the top of the head all the way down to the tailbone. So we don't have to balance there. That's a high level. We can come down and rest. We can make it a little bit harder if you want by lifting the arms overhead, but just know you can hold on just to come up and down. You can make it moving by bringing the legs away and coming back in, or you can always just support yourself with the hands right behind the back and moving one leg at a time. Choose the level that works for you today. Good, and as you're ready, coming back down, we're going to move over into hands and knees. So you want the knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. This is table pose because it looks like we are a table with a nice flat back. Now moving into cat, we're arching the back, letting the head come down, the belly button move towards the spine, making that nice arch like an angry cat. Then we reverse that into cow pose, letting the belly kind of drop down, top of the head comes up towards the ceiling. And we work on this to improve our spine flexibility and core strength. So we're going to cycle through between cat as we arch the back, like our angry Halloween cat, and then cow as we reverse that, letting the dip come down in the back. moving back and forth at your own pace between cat and cow. Just doing the best that you can to keep the arms and legs in the same spot, so just the spine is really articulating here. Good. Try to inhale as we lift up and exhale as we arch that back down. Inhale as we lift up. Exhale as we look back down. Good. And returning back to that flat back table pose. And then we're going to lift our left arm out. And if you want to try the right leg out as well, this is called spinal balance. So opposite arm and leg. And if this is too difficult, you can just try just the leg or just the arm. And this is helping with our back strength and flexibility. Good job. Inhale and exhale, bringing the arm and leg down. Good. On the other side, lifting up the arm and leg. Do our spinal balance. Again, just choosing one or the other, just the arm, just the leg, alternating between the two. Your choice. Just try to reach out as far as you can with that arm and that leg, keeping the rest of the body stable. Inhale and exhale, bringing the arm and leg back down. Then exhale as you sit back towards the heels, reaching both arms out, resting the forehead on the ground into extended child's pose. And go ahead and rotate the wrists in each direction. And if it's uncomfortable to sit back towards the heels, feel free to sit on a pillow as you sit back. And just keep breathing as then we go ahead and extend the arms once again, extended child's pose, reaching out, elongating that whole body on the back side. And go ahead and inhale, coming back forward into that table position. And then coming all the way down to the mat and sitting on our glutes once again, placing the feet flat on the floor, knees pointed up, placing the hands on either side of the hip as we lean back onto those hands. We inhale and exhale, allowing the knees to drop over to the right side of our body. We use our breath to inhale the knees up, exhale the knees down to the other side. And taking our time inhaling and exhaling, switching from one side to the other as we're ready. Try to keep the shoulders facing forward and just let the lower body really do the twist here for our lower back and our hip stretch. Keep breathing. Good, and returning to the center, we're going to cross our right ankle over our left knee, placing the hands by the hips for support. Now that may feel very difficult right there. That's okay. If you have more stretch in the hip, you can lean forward towards the leg, or if it's really uncomfortable and you can't keep the spine up, go ahead and lean back, keeping the spine as long as you can. Good. Now when you're ready, go ahead and untwist and then cross the left ankle over the right thigh, leaning back to elongate that spine. Or if you have that flexibility, maybe you're leaning forward in towards that bent leg. Remember, only going to the point that works for you. It's no use to do somebody else's stretch. Do what works for your body. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and remove the ankle from the thigh. Once again, I'm not sitting on anything, but you may want to sit on a pillow to try to place the bottoms of the feet towards each other. Knees will go out to the sides. Now I'm really flexible in the hips, so your knees may be coming off the ground and you can always place something underneath the knees, but you never want to force or bounce because that will actually cause the opposite reaction. So when you're ready from here, we're going to reach the right hand down towards the ground, lift the left hand over the top, laterally flexing the spine. And after our next exhale, we're going to inhale the body up and exhale down to the other side, doing the same thing, reaching now the right arm over the top as far as it goes, just right over our ear. Inhale, exhale. Good. Inhale, coming back up to the center, reaching both legs out. Good. There might be a little bend underneath the knees, but that's okay. We don't want them coming all the way up. But if it's very uncomfortable for you to sit with your legs out, please sit on a pillow, maybe even 2 pillows. But again, not bouncing for the knees, protecting the knees. If you do have more flexibility, you can come forward, bracing the body with the hands for help. And then as you're ready, walking the hands back, bending one knee, bending the other knee, bringing them back to the center. Then we're going to turn down our mat and roll all the way back, removing any pressure points on the spine. Releasing the left leg all the way down, with bending the right knee and bringing it in towards the chest. You can grab in front of the shin or behind the knee, the hamstring. And just bringing it in as far as you can today. Then straightening the right leg all the way up and then walking your hands towards the foot. Once you're up as far as you can go today, you're going to bend and flex that ankle. So bring the toes all the way up towards the sky and then back towards you, back and forth. Keep breathing. Inhale, exhale, come all the way down, bring that knee in towards the chest, and then switch it out. So you're going to bring the right leg down, left knee into the chest, give it a hug, and then straightening the left leg, and then using the hands to walk all the way up as far as we can go today. And then once we're there, pointing those toes up towards the sky and then back towards us. Still breathing as naturally as we can while we are struggling possibly in this hamstring stretch and doing a crunch at the same time. Inhale and exhale, bringing that knee back down into the chest, give it a squeeze, and then releasing it all the way down. Inhale both knees in, knees to chest. Give them a squeeze, releasing the lower back. And our exhale, allowing both feet to come down. Release the right leg all the way down. Bend the knee of the left leg into the chest, then across the body. So the left foot is going over towards the right side of the body, and we can help with this twist by pressing into the left knee, bringing it in towards the earth with our right hand as we look over the left shoulder. So this is just a twist. Good. Inhale. That knee right back up to the center, exhaling it down. Inhaling the right knee up towards the chest, and then crossing it over onto the left side of the body. Look over the right shoulder, and maybe you can deepen that stretch by placing the left hand on the outside of the knee, just deepening that stretch, or maybe just bringing that leg across is enough. When you're ready, inhale up to center, give the knee a squeeze, exhale it all the way down. Inhale both knees into the chest. Squeeze them in and exhale, releasing the feet down. Roll over slowly onto the side and then gently press the body up into a seated position. That's it for our short workout today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.